welcome to my kitchen. And today we're going to be sharing with you my recipe for classic chocolate chip lunchbox cookies. And I call them a lunchbox cookie because they're big and they're cakey and they're satisfying. So let's go see how we make these delicious chocolate chip lunchbox cookies. Alright, we're just going to go ahead and get started right away, and we're going to start dropping all of our ingredients in the bowl as we go along. So what I have in the bowl right now is 2 sticks of butter. That's a ½ pound. Yes, this is softened. I'm also going to add, if it will come out, I have a 1.5 cups of brown sugar and a ½ cup of granulated sugar. And I have my Bosch set up with my cookie paddles, the metal drive, and the bowl scraper. This is going to save me time, and it's going to allow the machine to do all the work for me. We're going to go ahead and get the butter and the sugars creamed together. Alright, you want to beat this for about 3 minutes, and I'll show you why. Do you see how light it is now? It's not brown at all. It's a very creamy, it's almost a, a tan color beige, so that's where you want it exactly.
Does that taste awful by itself?
It probably does, but don't stick your finger in there. Okay, now we're going to go for 2 eggs, one at a time. And make sure this is completely mixed in. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and add a teaspoon of vanilla, or thereabouts. This is one of the reasons I love this mixer so much, is it incorporates things so quickly and thoroughly. It's just wonderful. Alright, now, if you like, you can mix the dry ingredients together by themselves ahead of time and just set them aside. But right now I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to add the salt and the baking powder, baking soda. Baking soda.
You always do that.
I do, I always do it. But the recipe you can refer to on my website will have the correct measurements and ingredients. Get that mixed in there. And then we're going to do 3½ cups of flour, just all-purpose flour. This just briefly to get that flour kind of incorporated before we start really beating it together. The last thing we're going to add is 1 12-ounce bag of semi-sweet chocolate chips. And we're just going to briefly mix this on low speed until it's incorporated. And there we go. Alright, now I'm going to get rid of the mixer, and we are going to dole out these cookies onto a baking sheet. Alright, now we're going to go ahead and we're going to put our cookies on the baking sheet. And we're going to drop this not by 1 tablespoon, not by 2 tablespoons, but by 1/4 cup scoops. These are lunchbox cookies. And that's one of the reasons that I'm calling this series that I'm going to be doing a lunchbox cookie. Because they're big, they're chewy, they're like the ones that you get when you go to the mall. And they're always what I imagined would be the type of cookie that, comes out of a lunchbox that your mom makes. So, actually, I'm probably going to put 8 cookies per sheet. Just like this. And I have my oven preheated to 325 degrees. You don't have to touch them past this point. Into the oven they go for 18 to 20 minutes. That's because of their size and their density. So we'll be back when it's time to bring these out. All right, it has been just about 18 minutes, and these are ready to come out of the oven. When you can smell them, you need to check them, and I highly recommend that you have a timer set. Now, you can see that these are puffy, and they're just ever so slightly beginning to brown around the edges, and that's how you want them. You do not want to remove these from the baking sheet for 10 minutes because they're still cooking. The heat that's radiating from your baking sheet is going to continue to cook these until they're perfectly done, and they're still going to be chewy in the middle. They're going to have that moist denseness that you desire in a chocolate chip cookie, and they're going to be great. All right, there you have it. A delicious tray of big, puffy, cakey, crispy, classic chocolate chip lunchbox cookies. So delicious. You know what they taste like. Come on, I'm not going to fool anybody. There is nothing special about this recipe except that it's the one I make, and we really love it. I don't make these cookies very often, but I knew that I had to share them with you, simply because it's that time of year. Back to school, I always want to make cookies for the girls' lunch boxes, you know, so this is what we do.
I think we still need to test one.
So we need to try one? Is that what you're saying? All right,
just to make sure.
I'm going to take this. This one's still warm. Many of these have cooled off all the way, but this one is the one that was cooked last. I'm just going to break it open for you. Now, Rick says this is what he remembers, the style that his mom used to make.
Kind of.
They're puffy and cakey, and that has everything to do with the addition of the extra egg yolks. And these are crispy around the edges, but they're just so satisfying. My mom always made chocolate chip cookies that were flat, and they were so buttery. They weren't always hard. They were soft, but I really like my mom's version too. But this one is, you know, grown on me. So I'll let Rick have that. It has a beautiful texture. It's got a really nice crumb to it.
That's just heaven.
And it's soft, and it's cakey, and it's everything I think you want a chocolate chip cookie to be. It's just delicious. It hits all those notes. It's salty. It's
sweet.
It's sweet. It's buttery. It's perfect. So, I hope you give these chocolate chip lunchbox cookies a try. I know that you're going to love them. If you do try them, take a picture of them and share them with me on Instagram or Twitter or Facebook. I always love to see it when you guys try my recipes. So, I hope you give these a try, and I hope that you love them. And until next time, I'll see ya. And welcome to my kitchen. Today we're going to continue our little mini series of lunchbox cookies, and today we're going for a double raisin oatmeal cookie. This is my personal favorite for a soft and chewy cookie. It's loaded with 2 different kinds of raisins, cinnamon, nutmeg, and old-fashioned goodness. Let's go see how we make these. Alright, we're just going to do like we did before when we made our chocolate chip cookies, and we're going to continue this method. In the bowl I have 2 sticks of butter, and that's a ½ pound or 1 cup of butter.
Softened.
That is softened to room temperature. To that I'm going to add 1 cup of brown sugar and 1 cup of granulated sugar. And we're going to put the color on and let this cream. Our butter and sugar have creamed for approximately 3 minutes, and you will tell when it's ready because it has become very, very light and fluffy. It's not so dark like the brown sugar was. It's very light, and it's very smooth and creamy. Really?
Mm-hmm.
Well.
Nice, delicious.
Does that work for you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Whoops, sorry. All right, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add 3 eggs, one at a time, leaving space in between each addition for each egg to become fully incorporated. All right, next thing we're going to do is now, if you are mixing by hand or have a different type of mixer, I highly recommend that you mix your baking powder, salt, cinnamon, nutmeg, and baking powder, salt, cinnamon, and nutmeg. That's all there's in there. In with your flour, and then just set it aside so it's ready to go. Today I'm going to just drop it right in. There's a teaspoon of salt, a teaspoon of baking powder, a teaspoon of cinnamon, and a half a teaspoon of ground nutmeg. And I'm just going to go ahead and give this a whirl. And then it's going to start to smell really yummy. All right, now, don't worry about this because it'll get mixed in later. We're going to add our flour. We're going to use 2 cups of flour. I'm going to pulse this just to get it going. And that's mixed in, and then we're going to use 3 cups of old-fashioned oats. You don't want to use You don't want to use instant oats or quick oats or anything like that. You want to use old-fashioned, long-cooking oats. So, 3 cups of those. And then I have 1 cup each of dark raisins and golden raisins. You can use any combination that you like. You can also sub out the raisins for dried cherries, dried cranberries, chopped up dates, whatever you like. I like the flavor combination of the dark raisins and the light raisins. I think they both bring something to the party, and truth be told, golden raisins are my favorite. And just mix that until those raisins get combined in there. Now we're ready to move on, and I'll meet you back here in just a second. I'm going to clear the mixer away, and I'm going to grab my scoop, and we're going to start scooping the cookies. Alright, I am going to scoop out my cookie dough, and I'm going to put 8 cookies per sheet. This recipe is going to render approximately 2 dozen cookies. Now, the oatmeal cookie dough can tend to be a little sticky, so you want to have I have a little jelly jar here full of warm water just to dip my scoop in, and this is a 1/4 cup scoop. And these are going to make a nice size puffy cookie that's full of, the raisins, and it's going to be full of cinnamon goodness, and you're going to love it, I promise. I have my oven preheated to 325 degrees. And we're just going to go ahead and pop this right on in there. These are going to bake for 18 to 20 minutes, or until the outer edges are lightly golden brown and the middles are puffy. And you're going to take them out when it's time to do that. I'll bring you back. These cookies have been in the oven for 20 minutes, and they are perfectly golden brown. And you'll see they look like they're not quite finished in the middle, but that's how you want them. You want these cookies to remain on the baking sheet. Just leave them there on top of your stove for about 10 minutes. This way they're going to continue cooking, and the baking sheet, the heat that's resonating from the sheet is going to continue to finish the cooking process on these cookies. So when those are cooled for 10 minutes, basically what I do is I put my next sheet in the oven, just like this. And then when those come out, I pull these off and put them on a cooling rack to cool all the way, because they'll still be a little warm in the middle. You don't want to put these in a container or a bag or anything until they're completely room temperature. Once this first tray is cool, you know, your family's going to have at it. You probably won't need to put those away anyway. So, we'll be back when all the cookies are finished, and we'll show you what they look like all together. All of our cookies are done, they're cooled, and they're ready to enjoy. Not that my family hasn't already enjoyed them, because like I said about that first pan, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Quality control, we're all about that in this house.
Yep.
We would never ever tell you to make something if we did not first test it for you. These cookies...
We took one for you.
Like I said at the beginning of this video, these are my personal favorite. I love an oatmeal cookie, and this is chock full of raisins. And they're just perfect. I love these cookies. The bottoms are just ever so slightly browned. They're crispy on the outside edge. They're dense, moist, and chewy in the middle. And they're perfect.
Yes,
Here, enjoy. They're crunchy on the outside, but when you get to the middle, it's
soft and chewy.
It's delicious.
They're
wonderful. And you can see how many raisins are in the cookies. They're not flat. They're just nice, and they have a nice rise on them. Oh, they're so good. You are gonna love these. These are perfect for lunch boxes. These are perfect for the holidays. These are perfect to share or keep all for yourself. No judgment here. But anyway, I really do hope you give these a try, and I hope you love them. And until next time, I'll see ya.